Alright guys, I thought I'd do this video update to the folks that are interested in me learning to drive, how it's been going. Apparently I've just unlocked Honor because I've been such a friendly, positive member of the community that I am now I now have Honor level 0, which is great in it. But I don't have sufficient Honor level for ranked rewards, apparently. So driving, the reason I'm doing this video today, I'm going to queue and maybe play something in a minute, is just getting really frustrated with my instructor, to be honest. Texting my dad now because he was asking how it went today, and honestly I had a full-on fucking row with the bloke. I was pretty close to round with him a couple of lessons ago, then it chilled out. Today I basically pulled over the car and just told him, listen mate, I was driving, I just pulled over the car, I just said, listen, like, you better fucking wise up, basically, and actually be fucking nice, or I'll just leave. Like, I'm pretty close to test standard. I think if I had some really strong tuition, if I had some really strong tuition and I booked my test in like a month, I feel like I'd maybe not pass it, but I'd be definitely test ready. And the thing, if I failed, it would be like nerves or some silly mistake that happens on the day, right? But I feel like I'm ready now is like the first time to take the test. However, today I was thinking about basically doing this lesson. I booked an early lesson to feel like what the drive would be like on an early day, and then booking my test. So I drove at 8 o'clock today, because normally when you book it's like between 8 and 10, right? And I just feel like he's like completely like crushed my old spirits about driving. So the guy's semi-retired. He's still a driving instructor. He's still qualified. He's still everything. He still does driving every single day. But he doesn't really take on... He doesn't advertise. That's his thing. Like, he doesn't advertise. If you know him or you know somebody that's been with him, he'll pick you up. But he doesn't advertise because he doesn't really... I don't know. I don't know if he enjoys the job or not. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm just in a pissed off mood, probably. So here's how it goes, right? I'm coming up to test standard, so now, like, I understand he's going to be more tough. I don't care about that. I don't care how tough you are. That's how I learn. I like strict teachers, but I like strict teachers in the sense if they're really strict, right? Like, you have a thing to follow. So, how can I explain this? The amount of times he jokingly taps me on my head and says, oh, is anything in there? You have no idea how close I've come to just putting him through the front fucking windscreen with a brake check, mate. Honestly, like, I don't care if you're joking or not. That is not going to build somebody's confidence up to drive, going, oh, mate, are you awake this morning? Like, I understand what he's doing. Sometimes I'll do something that's not a huge mistake. Put it this way, I've never had him press the brakes in about... Well, I don't know when the last time he pressed the brakes was. And I haven't stalled. Ever. I've never stalled the car, even when I was beginning. The only time I've ever stalled the car was 2 lessons ago, because he got me in such a fucking mood that my entire driving went out the window. And today I stalled, again, because we were doing an argument. It's not a very conducive learning environment, or like a learning environment that's conducive to like fucking making progress. So I'll explain how the day went. Now, granted, right, he's thinking I'm coming up to test, I'm thinking I'm coming up to test, so we do some maneuvers. So I get picked up, I drive to this car park, and he's like, all right, I want you to turn in. I want you to turn in to obey. So first thing is, like, I do everything slowly because I'm trying to imagine I'm on my test. So it doesn't matter if I do it a little bit slowly, but it does matter if I do it unsafely. So I'll go into the car park, I'll get into first, and I'll get really far over, right? And then I start to turn my wheel to the left and turn in. And then he, like, sort of touches the wheel and he's like, listen, mate. He's like, you're not straight. He's like, your wheels aren't straight. So then when you continue going forwards, you're going to drift at like a diagonal line, and then you're gonna have a lot, because if you don't know, when you park, you want to be over one side, then you swing in and you're pretty much straight, right? So that was what I was gonna do. I got way over to the right side, I began to turn in, and then he was like, listen mate, you need to straighten up. So then I straightened up, which obviously you move forwards a tiny bit. So then, because I moved forwards and I turned left into the bay, yeah, I'm slightly over. You know what I mean? I'm slightly over. And then he's like giving me a whole fucking spiel about blah, 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 blah. You need to do this, you need to do that. You're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. That's what it sounds like. I haven't been praised once since I've been driving. Not once. I've gone from never sat in a driving seat, never sat in the driver's seat, to basically being able to drive around my town and my area without somebody slamming the brakes or, nothing dangerous happening. And the only time I ever get praise is like basically when I'm like, was that okay? Or like I'll have to drag it out of him, which like to me, like I am a person that needs praise. Like I know that sounds fucking pathetic, but when you're doing something that is quite nervy, like driving, and you feel like you've got other people's lives and your lives in your own hand, when you do something good, you just want to be like, you know what, you got off that roundabout really well, or you took that exit well, or you know what, that was a nice bit of driving, like, oh, you spotted that pedestrian in the distance and you just eased off the gas, something, you just want to hear some positive words. I don't get that. So my lessons are like, I'm an overthinker. I typically overthink everything, and that obviously when I'm coming up to the lesson, I'm thinking about everything that could happen, all the overthinking, and then somebody like throws something at you, like, oh mate, are you awake this morning? What's going on in there? So for example, I'll tell you why he said that, and you can be the judge. I was reversing out of a car park, so I'm in a bay, and I'm reversing. Now he says to me these words, just reverse out, right? So I begin to reverse out. I wait till I'm sort of level with the bay and I go full lock. Right? And he's like, so before I do that, before I've completed that step, I've began to reverse out. Before I've got like halfway to the sort of front end of the bay and I'm backing out, he's like, whoa mate. He's like tapping me. He's like, whoa mate, what you doing? And I'm like, so then obviously you're learning. You're thinking, fuck, I've done something really wrong on my test. And then I'm like, I'm reversing out, mate, and then we're gonna do a reverse in, aren't we, or something? And he's like, yeah, but you need to be in the middle. And I'm thinking, what's he going on about? Like, I need to be in the middle, right? So I'm a bit perplexed at what's going on. So I'll bring you up a drawing so you can understand my frustration, right? So these are all the bays, right? Alright, these are some bays. Let's copy these. Here's some bays, right? Whatever. Right? Look at this. World-class artist, by the way. Right, so my car. This is my car here. And this is what I find myself doing after my lessons. I find myself second-guessing myself and trying to do these fucking stupid things to like be like, am I a fucking idiot or am I just being taught stupidly? I'm not a stupid person. I've never failed an exam in my life. I've never got below a B. I've never got below a B. I'm not stupid. I'm not like hands-on the best. So I think to myself, maybe it's because it's a bit of spatial awareness that I'm not picking up the learning so well. So I'm doing this, right? And I'm in this bay. And he says to me, I tell a lie, I'm in this one, right? And this is what he says to me. Reverse back and we'll do another reverse in. So I'm like, right, so I go to here and I'm going to reverse out. So my car's like here, right? My car's like here. And then I'll drive forwards and I'll reverse in, right? So nothing too wrong with that, I don't feel like. So I go into the bay here. I'm in the bay and I begin to reverse out and he's like, whoa mate, whoa. Are you thinking this morning? What's going on, mate? Is there anything going on up there? What's happening? I just said reverse and I'm like, Yeah, I'm in reverse. I'm going backwards, and I'm going to get, like, my door mirrors here, and then I'm going to full lock. And he's like, no, I want you to do this. So then you're straight when you come out. And I was like, what? So what he wanted me to do was this. He wanted me to just be here and full lock from this position. So then I end up, like, further back and already in the middle, because I've gone like this and I've ended up in the middle, rather than ending up, say, like here, and then having to reverse and straighten up. So in his head, he's thinking he'll save me a lot of work, because if I just reverse out from here and I go across these bays, I'll end up like here in the middle already. But as a learner, a routine helps me. So I was like, oh, right, we've never done that before. That's why it confused me, because you've never told me to drive over the bays before. That's always been a big no-no. And he's like, yeah, but in this instance, it doesn't matter, because nobody's about and we don't need to do anything. So I'm like, okay, right, whatever. So I reverse out and I get into the middle. I'll let that go. It's just such a fucking shit lesson it's been. So that was that. So then, I'm trying to think, because that was just the beginning. That's just the very first thing. That was like minute 1 that annoyed me. So I get like, let's think of the stages that happened. It's that much of a rage-inducing blur at the moment. So yeah, that was the next one. So what happened was, I'm now in the bay. I've done that, and I've turned into another bay. It didn't go that well. The turning in the bay didn't go that well. And then he's like, it's because you're turning too early, or whatever he said. And I was like, right. So as I was driving forwards like this, and I'm turning into one of these bays, the guy goes to me, right, now. No, I'm like this, and I'm going to turn in. I've got my mirrors level, and I'm thinking that's probably going to be okay. Then he says to me, all right, now. And as I begin to turn in, it's completely evident that I'm going to be like slightly here, like on the line, right? I wish there was a rotate feature in this. Oh, maybe there is. Right, I'm on the line like this. And then he's like, you've just failed your test. Which I don't teach people to drive, and I don't know how to teach people to drive. But if I was teaching someone to drive, I would never say to them after a mistake, you failed your test, you failed your test, you failed your test. Oh, you've done that, you failed your test. That's all it's building me up towards. Everything I ever hear is rather than a mistake, and then going, you know what, we'll correct that. Let's have a go again. Small mistake, let's work on that. He's like, you failed your test there, mate. You failed your test. And I was like, but I'm only turning in now because you told me to turn in. Like, I was going to turn in a little bit earlier, but you told me to wait, and now I'm over. So the next time I do it, I obviously compensate, and I'm slightly over, right? So, whatever, we're in the bay, right? Long story short, this is how it feels like. You see how long these videos are? And you see how annoying it is to listen to? This is what I feel like on my lessons at the moment. I'm in the bay here. And he says to me, all this shit, doesn't he? You don't need to do obs. We're going to reverse across the lines. So this time when I reverse, I've reversed to about here. Now, obviously, my car is, angled, and I'm going to straighten it up. And he says to me, don't worry about going into the back bays. And I said to him, oh, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that. And he's like, yeah, I know, but for this example, let's get it as far back as we can, and then let's straighten it up. And I was like, right. Didn't do any obs because he said there's nothing, just go for it. Do a reversing or whatever I do, then I'm back in the bay. So this time when I set off, whoa, mate. Whoa, there's no observation anywhere. You failed your test. There's no observation. What are you doing? And I said, oh, right, I just thought because the entire time I've been driving, I've done no observation in this car park that we were letting it slide. Now, to me, that's not even a good thing. I don't want to do that because that just puts me in a shit habit. What I want every single lesson is, yo, don't move, obs. Okay, you're off. Oh yeah, that was a little bit slow, but you got everything checked. It's like I'm in this like position all the time where I'm getting mixed signals, and it's fucking confusing to learn with mixed signals about anything. I'll be here and he'll say, all right, turn into one of these bays on the right. So I'll be driving forwards and I'll stop. I'll check left shoulder, left mirror, central mirror, right blind spot, mirror, blind spot. Okay, I'm going. And then it'll be, you can tell when someone is sat there thinking, fucking hurry it up, mate. You know what I mean? You know that. So I do that like 5 times and he's not like, oh, good obs. He's like, all right, mate, there's no one about. All right, mate, there's no one about. All right, mate, there's no one about. So the next time I'm in this bay and I set off and I know there's no one about because it's a completely empty car park, he's like, whoa, mate, where are your obs? And I'm just like, oh, it's just fucking tilting. So that was that. Then we come to this one, right? This roundabout. So that was like 50 minutes spent in a car park, which just served me no purpose whatsoever. I just felt like I'd just be better driving around in my local area, getting to do with test routes or something. So anyway, I'm on this roundabout, and I know the local area, right? So I'll draw the diagram as best I can, right? This is the best I can do, okay? Okay, so this is my car here. I'll draw a triangle for this one, right? This is my car. Now, this here, right? Sorry, this here is a supermarket, right? There's a supermarket here, and this is a 60 road here. This is a 60 road, right? And there's a slip road, right? And there's a slip road here. And I know this is boring and probably no one's watching, but it helps me clear the head, right? So this is what happens, okay? I'm going down the 60 road. He says, okay, I want you to take the road off to whatever, you know, where I live. And I'm like, okay. So I drive down and I stop here, right? And I indicate left. Now, I know myself that that's probably not the smartest thing to do because there is this road to the supermarket. However, if you're coming from this direction and you want to get into the supermarket, you need to be going down this slip road into it. You come off the 60 road and you go into the slip road, right? So that was my thinking. As I approach it, this is probably even a little bit too nice for it, to be honest. It's more like this. It's more like this, right? There's just no possible way I'd have to swerve. I'd have to full fucking lock to go down the left road, right? That's what I'd have to do. I'd have to full lock to go down the left road. I'd have to be like fucking, you know, bang, straight down this. So as I'm coming off here, I should have waited till I'd passed the road and then indicated left and then gone down this road. That was it. Just a small mistake about the timing of a signal that could have slightly confused that road. Me being local to the area knows that you can't really fucking throw it down there coming from this exit. It's just not. Yes, you could do it if you were. You'd have to really trundle out and then almost be vertical to get in that road. But yeah, on the test, I should be more clear and I should wait for this road and then I should signal. But that's all it was. That was all it was just this small signal timing mistake because I know the local area and I just, you know, I just switched off a little bit. But it became this huge fucking problem. He had an absolute go at me completely. He was like, you know what I mean? He just made me feel like pure shit. And I was just like, I just said to him, I said, like, have you got a problem? Like, I said, it's just a mistake, mate, innit? I said, it's just a mistake. I've made a mistake. That's what I do. I'm learning to drive. I've made a mistake. Let's forget about it. You know what I mean? I should have signalled because I've confused this user. And he's like, I want to know why you've made that mistake. Tell me why you've made that mistake. As I'm going around the fucking roundabout. So I'm like, driving down the road. I'm like, then obviously my signal's late. I haven't blind check spotted because I'm having a fucking full-on argument. And I'm going down this road and he's like, why did you make that mistake? I'm like, I don't know. It's just a fucking mistake, innit? You're the driving instructor, mate. Tell me why you think I've made that mistake. What is the mistake I've made? So I'm going down the road talking like this. And then he's like, I just thought, oh, fuck this, mate. So I just pulled him in and I just said, like, basically, I just said, listen, mate, like, what's going on? Like, why are you having an absolute fucking go at me over one mistake? And he's like, well, it's coming up to your book and your test, and I want you to really drill it into your head. And I'm like, that doesn't work for me. That style of teaching does not work for me. Someone just going, why have you made that mistake? Why have you done that? What have you done that for? Why have you done that? That doesn't work for me. I like to know the why, the reason, and all this shit. I don't like just don't make a mistake. Like, so I'm coming down this road, like I say, 20 fucking time, and I'm thinking to myself, there's just no fucking way I do this. Bang, up this road. So, yeah, I indicated, as I approached, there was no signal on, and then he was... Oh, fucking, is this going? And I'm here, and I'm, like, indicating left, and I didn't really think about it. Right? All he had to say to me was, when I check my blind spot and I leave that junction, all he could have said to me is, alright, mate, when you were coming back there, you indicated a little bit early, and a few drivers going around the roundabout might have thought you were going down this road. Because to me, how I would explain it is, a lot of drivers might not be from the area, and they might not realise there's a slip road down here to get into the supermarket. So when they come around this roundabout and they see you with your signal on, they may believe you're going down that road. And I'd have been like, you know what? You're right. Problem solved. Instead, it's like this. Why are you making mistakes? What the fuck? What are you thinking? So I said to him, I said, this is what I was thinking. I said, as I approached, I thought to myself, I'll indicate left because I'm coming off at the left, and the cars won't think I'm going down this road because it's not physically possible for me to throw my car down that road. And he was like, let's pull up, mate. And I was like, blah, or whatever he said. No, I pulled him up. He said something like, that makes no sense. How are you thinking that? What are you doing? Like, why are you thinking that? I said to him, I said, mate, you just asked me what was going through your head, and I just explained it to you. I said, that's all I'm doing. I said, you asked me what was I thinking, and I've told you. I've given that bit of information to you. Now you, as the fucking driving instructor, mate, do something with that information and fucking help me. That's what I felt like saying. I was really fucking naffed off today. I don't get naffed off with people, and I don't have a go at people. Like, I don't get naffed off with people. But I understand he's trying to get me ready for the test. I'm not stupid. I am making mistakes. I'm not stupid. But I don't feel like saying shit like, how on earth have you made that mistake, mate? What on earth is going through your head? Are you thinking this morning? And then he's like, tell me what's going through your head. So I said to him, when I approached, I thought I'd put my left indicator on because the people know I won't shoot down that road, and then I'll turn left off this exit. He could have just said, oh, right, well, they might do. So don't do that in future. Just signal after you've passed the exit, which I always do on every other roundabout anyway. But because I'm local to this roundabout, I just used, quote, local knowledge. And yeah, it got me in a bit of trouble. That's all it had to be. But instead, it turns into this monumental thing where everything is like, you failed. All right, so final example, if anyone's still here, appreciate you listening to my little fucking escapades or whatever you call them. This is the final one. Well, final two to give you some context. Here's a road with a junction, right? This car is coming down here. I am here. This car is here. It's probably like... So I wait for the car to pass me. The car passes me. I've edged out. And I go across the road and I begin to accelerate. As I've now gained up speed, this car is a little bit close. He says to me, you failed your test. That is 33 seconds in the car. That's just not what you want to hear, is it? That's just like, am I being stupid? Is that not really fucking frustrating to hear that? How have I failed my test, mate? So I say, alright, what have I done? So he's like, yeah, because this car crosses here and you have to go across and you have to build up speed, by the time that car's got to you, it's going to be a bit close, so you could just wait for that car to pass. And I was like, right. And he said, normally, in normal driving circumstances, if you weren't on your test, that would be completely fine and nobody would think anything of it. However, on your test, you failed. So I was like, right. Okay. So we go down the road. And obviously that's like tilted me. There's a road here. And there's a road here. This has a keep clear sign. Well, sorry, I tell a lie. The keep clear sign is like here, maybe. Right? And there's some traffic lights. Wonderful. So, as I approach this one, there's a car parked here. And he's waiting. Right, he's waiting to go. So as I'm approaching, I'm thinking to myself, right, I definitely don't want to be like, how do I do this? I definitely don't want to be like here, like sort of blocking this keep clear. So what I did was I drove up to the car and I got like here. I was too close. I was too close to the van. And he said to me, look mate, why have you done that? And I said, it's because there was a keep clear sign back there and I didn't want to be hanging over it because that really would be pretty bad. And he was like, yeah, but now you're way too close, you're well clear of it. And I said, well, I didn't know I was well clear of it because I can't really see because it's on like a hill behind me. And I said, so I just got a little bit close. And he gives me a whole spiel of if that car broke down, you'll never get round it. If it rolls back and smacks into you, I'll lose my fucking front windscreen. That's a fail. So I'm like, right. So, because of those two incidents, with him saying don't pull out too soon because you can make people slow, I approached a roundabout a little bit later in the drive. Okay? This is what I see. Alright, this is what I see. See a load of trees here. There's a big hedge here. Right? I come down this road. Okay, and there's a road here. Right? Come down this road. As I'm approaching it, I get into second. Right? I get into second. I get to like here. I'm in second and I see a van here. With no signal. Obviously there's a road here. So I see a van with no signal. I peep through. I look to the right. I see the van. And I think to myself, he might just fucking shoot out across. He might just fucking shoot out across. That's what I was thinking. He might shoot out across at me. So I waited. The van appears slightly here now. And I'm now at the line. And when I re-glance to my right, he has his indicator on. Right? And and it goes down this road. Right? So I don't trust its indicator. It comes out, and the second it begins to turn, because you could have left your indicator on, the second it begins to turn, so now I've got into first, and I then go on, and I go off the roundabout. Right? Then, but the whole time this is going on, he's saying this to me. He's going, I can't write, but he's going hesitation. He's going hesitate. It's really hard to write with a mouse. He's going hesitation, hesitation, hesitation. You failed, mate. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Explain yourself. Explain yourself. And I was like, all right. I said I approached the roundabout in second. When I looked to my right, there was a van coming. And he's like, yeah, but the van's not 28,000. The van's 28,000 miles away. You could have gone. I said, you're right. I could have gone. I said 100% I could have gone. Absolutely, I could have gone. I said, but back down the road, he said not to pull out on anyone because you might make them slow and then you fail your test. So because I did early observation, it's like I fucked myself over because I did early observation. I looked left, I looked right, I saw the van, nice and early. He was coming at a bit of speed, white van driver, no indicator. I'm thinking, he is just going on this roundabout. Because there's nothing here. There was nothing here, right? There was nothing blocking him. So I thought, if he wants to, this van can go straight on the roundabout. Now I know, yes, I probably could have beaten him. Because there's probably no way that if I'd have gone round, he would have smacked into the side of me. But on approach, I saw it and I made the decision. There's a car on my right and I'm not sure where it's going. I'm just going to wait because he hasn't signalled. Oh, he's signalled I'm going. So instead of him saying, you know what, that was nice, you got your early obs in. So if I was a driving instructor, I'd say, you got your early observation in. Yeah, you weren't sure about the indicator. You waited till the van moved and then you moved off. That was nice and safe. However, the van was quite far back, and because you did your early observation and you spotted him early, you definitely could have gone and it wouldn't have affected you. And I'd have gone, right, yeah, you're right. Next time I'll try to judge that a bit better. But what I didn't want to do was I didn't want to approach in second. I didn't want to do this. Approach in second, have a look, see a van and just go, woo, and fucking whiz on. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to do that. So, and as well, you have to get your feet prepared and sort of mentally you know what you're doing, right? And in my head, I'd already made the decision that I was stopping, so I'd stopped. If I'd have made this decision to go in first, if I'd have gone into first and then looked and thought, oh, you know what, actually I can go, then I'd have to go first, second, and then he might have been close to me. So those were like all the things that happened in my lesson. And I was just sat there like at the end of the lesson, like thinking, I didn't really drive anywhere. I spent most of it in a car park arguing, and then I spent most of it arguing on a roundabout. So that was that, really. I've got a phone call, so that sounds like it's time to go.